Hello guys, and welcome to my video on how to use probably the most important add-on in the game for any person on the PC platform, and that is Master Merchant. I've worked a lot with a developer on this add-on. I know a lot about it, and so I'd like to share that knowledge with you because I believe that it is definitely the most essential add-on for this game. It is so useful for getting the maximum value out of your items, and honestly, I think it's something that a lot of people need to learn about. So I'm going to quickly explain what it is. It's basically a trade-on add-on. What it will do is it will give you a price guideline of items based on the sales for the guild stores you are in. So make that clear. It's only giving you data for stores you are in. What it does is it logs the prices that items sell for in your guild stores. So if you're getting shit data on items, that is because you are in shit stores. You need to join stronger guilds, and that way you can actually get the data you need. So if you're on PCEU, just send me a whisper. I've got 2 trade guilds of my own. If you're on the console, you're probably looking for something like Undaunted areas, and if you are on the PCNA, I think rule card, but I could be wrong, okay? So I'm going to quickly show you what it does. We're going to show you 2 examples here to start before I explain exactly how to use some of the stuff. The first example is this recipe. So this is something that's slightly less traded, and you can see on the graph here the demand for the item, the amount that it's dropped in price, the rise in price, etc. And you can see the average price of those sales. Now, as useful as that is, that doesn't actually show you a true price of that item because of all of those anomalies at the top. There are 2 ways to clear that problem. The first way I will show you in a little bit, that is to remove outlying numbers, and that will make just the main bar. The other way is to hold the shift button, and shift button will show you the most recent 3 days, which as you can see, it shows around 9k. So imagine you're trading and you see this bad boy for anything less than 9k, it's going to be worth buying. So shift makes a big difference. The other items you're going to see it on a lot are much more commonly traded items, such as this bad boy here, where you can just see a wall of dots. On these ones, you don't really need to hold shift. You can see on that graph on your screen that the line is basically straight. There's a tiny decline. It goes down a tiny bit, and if you hold shift, there's a small spread. But you don't really need to worry about that, so you can just go from the price that's there and slap it in your store, and it's going to sell. So that's the pretty basic stuff that most people know how to use with Master Merchant. But now we're going to go into some things that a lot of people don't know. The first of all is how to use the actual Master Merchant screen. So when you open that up, that opens up in your mail. You can either see your personal information for your guilds. I'm selling pretty shit this week, as you can see. Or you can show all information to see your total guild sales. TTM 36.2, Affairs 29.3. That's like the weekly sales and shit like that. Those are your 2 main options there. What you can also do, however, is change to the items. And what this can do is it can keep a log. So say you're selling something on a regular basis and you can't remember what price. I don't know, you're selling nerds, for example. You're selling nerds at 4k, right? What you can do is you can click the item info, which is up here. So seller info will show the stats. Item info will show the items sold when it eventually loads, of course. You can then click show your info, and I can see the items that I've sold recently to see what I know is in demand, what I've sold best. You can also get something that shows your best item. So my best item for the week would be this one here. Celestial Motive 800k, etc, etc. You can see what's in demand that way, and that can help you actually know what to list, because that's something a lot of people miss out on. Also in here, you can obviously see what other people are selling. You can look for anomalies, but that's not that important. The most important screens are this seller info. Now, you can also change that, of course, to get rid of that shit. 30 days, this week, today, etc. There's a lot of different options on there for kind of modifying that. It can be useful to do, but it's not that important to do that stuff. So you can change that stuff. For the most part, I use this week, last week, that sort of stuff. And you can get a lot of monitoring through that. So the next place you want to go to is in your settings. And this has a few things that you're going to want to flick on or off. We're going to go into the add-on settings, click Master Merchant. I'm going to look through these one by one. So this stuff, it's not that important. I would definitely leave those on. They're very cool. You get a little alert when you sell something. It's quite catchy. I want that on. Cute. Calculation and tip options. So that will show you like the percentage differences and that sort of stuff. It's okay. It doesn't make that much difference. It just helps you customize it. Don't really touch that. There's no need to. These 2, again, no need to show that. Show full sale price. So what that means is it will show the price that you get before the tax. It doesn't really matter if you put that on. You're going to know about the tax anyway. The ones that you're going to want to learn about are these ones. Scan frequency, sales history, minimum count, etc. So what the scan frequency does is it checks the guild stores at a certain basis to update the data. You want that on a pretty low number because that means it's going to update too often. Not so low that it's lagging. So I put that on a sweet spot of 120. I played around a bit. Slap that to 120, it'll help you a lot. The history size shows the amount of days. Don't whack that on the max. If it's on the max, you're going to get a lot of old data, and you'll see items all the time are dropping in price or rising in price based on the economy. Although you can hold shift to see the recent data, you're going to get huge anomalies if you keep that too high. So lower that down to about 30 and that'll do you good. Minimum item count, max item count, all that does is it keeps a certain amount of numbers in the store. You don't really need to change those. Pricing information, that shows the actual tooltips, but this one here is very useful. That's the graph that I just showed you. Definitely turn that on. That way you're going to be able to see when an item is changing in price. You're going to see recent data, etc, etc. These ones, not that important. You can obviously get numbers on your graph, but that's going to get very clustered. It's not that important. This one is quite good. Ignore outlying prices. So that's one I mentioned before. That's the other way of dealing with anomalies that can affect your data. If you were to flick that on, you can actually get a far clearer look in your data. So that can help you a lot with actually clearing up your master merchant data. Definitely slap on if you're having problems with anomalies and the shift button. Stack price basically just shows you the full price of an item rather than the price per item, so that's fine. And this one here is something more for guilds. So what this does when I put that on is it shows me the data for sales in each guild individually. So for example, I could go on TTM, ZapTap is beasting it this week, 1.8 mil sales, etc. And you can look down the list to see what people have sold. You can go 30 days, see what people have sold, that sort of stuff. And you can actually tell what's going on to do with it that way. Finally, in those add-on settings, as I quickly reopen it, you have the fonts and all that stuff. It's just customizable stuff, but that is the most important stuff. I know it's a short video, guys, but I get so many people asking me, how do you actually use Master Merchant to price things, etc. That's your answer, okay? That's how you get used to that stuff. So I hope it was a useful guide on how to use this add-on. It is, without a doubt, the best add-on in the game, in my opinion. I find it very, very useful. It's great for trading. It's great for pricing in general if you're farming stuff. And of course, if you want an invite to any trade guild, just let me know. I got 2 of my own, so just let me know for that stuff. But I hope the add-on in general helps you guys on the PC. And best luck with your trading and farming experiences.